with the 15 minutes. It's almost 8:29 Istanbul time, so I will go quickly for the presentation. As Dr. Galib just mentioned, the topic is about how to use the self-regulated learning strategies, specifically when we start the COVID-19 adaptation for online learning. So this is a study we conducted couple semesters, and the study was focused only how we can encourage our students to self-regulate their learning while we are encouraging them for online learning process. So as Dr. Arij just mentioned, some of the things we need to encourage students to really to be autonomous, and Dr. Galib also mentioned this. There is a large body of research has been done about the motivation of the students to self-regulate themselves, because not only for learning in the college settings, but also after they graduate and to work in the workplace. So the research, as I mentioned, very broad, talk about the course completion, the contribution to success in the college, and also students will be able to successfully manage and effectively finish their college years. So the definition of it is very simple. Students' self-regulated skills become more and more important for the students, especially in COVID-19. When the students are online and there is no any direct control from the instructor, therefore they need to get engaged in activities to organize their time effectively. So the basic foundation of the self-regulated learning strategy based on three different concepts. The first one, the students has to understand the task beforehand. The second is to be self-aware of the task while they are conducting the task. And then based on this assessment, they self-regulate their working. So therefore, based on these three stages, the researcher proposed some type of feedback loop of the circle of the three stages to help the students to achieve their goal in every task throughout the semester. So this is the simple concept of the self-regulated learning. It starts by setting goals and self-reflection and then performance, and then the circle goes back again. Connecting this to the improvement of motivation and self-efficacy, both will affect also their academic success at the end of the semester. So what we did in Arkansas Tech University in the United States, in college education, in a large scale of some of the classes, we try to make an intervention, systematic intervention, to make sure the students will work toward this goal. So what we created, a weekly online discussion forum, and this open for all the students in each unit, and encourages students to reflect and share their self-regulated learning strategies to use to achieve the goal of this week. To encourage students more to be able to engage in this conversation, we actually give them grades. So ask them, if you finish this task by engaging in conversation and discussion board, you will receive 10 points at each stage. This will motivate students to make the reflection and effort to write to each other. The post of each student was actually watched by everybody else, so students can read each other's reflections and also learn from each other as they go. The study we conducted with 86 participants, 24 graduate students in college education in Arkansas Tech University, and also another 62 undergraduate students in the same university. I proposed two solid questions to try to see if the small intervention we add them to try to self-regulate themselves during the COVID will affect their like the outcome, the learning outcome, or the grade of the learning outcome. And also the second question would try to see if the self-regulated learning strategies has been affected by this small discussion board, and which one of the elements of the self-regulated learning strategies has been affected more and contributed to their final grades. So the method we used within subject design before and after. So students, we have been using the MSLQ questionnaire, which validated questionnaire. We ask them before the semester starts, and then we ask them after the semester ends. In between, the intervention was to engage in conversation. Also, we collected some information about the demographic survey to collect their makeup, such as their age, their gender, and also their level of education. So in a nutshell, the result was very simple. There was a strong and positive correlation between students' increase of self-regulated learning strategies and their final test score. Basically, it was very clear. There was no any doubt about it. And these are the numbers. I'm not going to read the numbers, but at least we discovered this is expected, as the other prior research has been showed us that this is the case. Within the survey itself, the self-regulated learning strategies from Pinterest, there are three categories within the self-regulated learning strategies. There is something called intrinsic value, self-efficacy, and cognitive strategy. These are three contribute to the self-regulated learning strategy. So the concept or the construct of the self-regulated learning strategy is actually has three components within it. So we'll try to see which one has been affected more than the others. We found that the three construct within the self-learning strategies are all of them, they were positive and also strong correlated to the final grade. So the intrinsic value, the self-efficacy, and cognitive strategy were strong. And the total, of course. These are also the graph of the course score and the correlation between each one of them. Now, the second question, we'll try to use a different strategy. We'll try to see which one of these three elements can predict their final grade. So we used regression analysis to analyze which one will create the model that we propose. We propose this model. The course score will be affected by these four different aspects. Which one will contribute more if they are or none of these four subcategories of the self-regulated learning strategies? So we found that the model we proposed was actually positive and very significant. So it means what we proposed here was very valid, that the course score can be actually affected by four different sub-constructs of the self-regulated learning strategies. We looked further to see which one of these subcategories have been affected positively more by the intervention we created. So we individual predictor, we examined each one individually and found that the self-efficacy and students' intrinsic value was significant predictor for the course score. Again, this is the model as a whole was very strong and positive, and the contribution of our model actually was about 28% explain the result of the outcome. It means the strong is very solid and strong. Within the subcategories, we found that the self-efficacy was very significant and intrinsic value very strong and positive too. We found that the cognitive strategy did not contribute to the model together. So therefore, we concluded that these two subcategory of the self-regulated learning strategy has been affected positive and contributed to the final grade of the students' grade in the course. So in conclusion, the students differ in the frequency and type of strategy they use. In America, I mean, I'm sure everyone has different perspective about this. American society is individualistic society in comparison to collectivist society in the Middle East. I am originally from Egypt, and I lived until I was 25 years old in Egypt. Students looking up to the teacher as the role model, and they follow whatever they told them. In America is the opposite completely. Students do not follow what the teacher said. Therefore, they have more flexibility to choose whatever they like. And even when I advise them to use one or two different strategies, if they don't like it, they are free not to follow. So therefore, students not following others, because again, there are a lot of literature has been conducted about students' reaction in the collectivist society versus the individualistic society. As a matter of fact, last semester, we collaborated with two other scholars from Yildiz University in Turkey, and they ran the same replica of our study and found the opposite, found that the students in Turkey, they followed what the teacher told them, and therefore this was actually affected positive. So our interpretation was very simple, that the students in collectivist society, they more following and looking up to the teacher when they advise them to do some cognitive strategies or discipline and so on. In America, it's completely different. We found also that the students become self-directed learner. The students actually, the more they see, it doesn't need them to follow what the other students doing, but they get motivated. The third thing, that the self-regulated learning strategy have positive effect on the students' final grades and also affect them on motivational belief they predicted on the final grade for the student's course. I think I'm still having like 1 minute, so I would like to give the opportunity for everybody to ask question if I can. Also, we interpret this that the students use their own SRL more than what they learn from us. So therefore, this is individualistic society, therefore did not learn from us anything new. The second thing, that the activities did not alter the students' learning strategy. They already became familiar with this system since they come to the college. They did not change it because of us. The last thing, we believe that the reflections reinforce the students' motivation, belief, and help them to gain some self-efficacy at the end of the semester. I'm done, but like I said, I have 3 minutes as you guys ask me. If anyone has question, if not, I will pass to the next presenter.